Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone on this Thursday morning? And I want to give you another story coming from the Daily Mail, and this is on Shannon Sharpe. He is actually slamming sleazeball Brett Favre. Now, I've been covering this story, which is a very serious matter, where, Brett Favre and the former governor, Phil Bryant, and nonprofit Nancy New, they actually, took money, and I would say stole the money. And this is what the court records are saying, the court documents, that they stole money to build a volleyball complex or a sports complex, and they had it under the guise of a lease. And so Nancy New has taken a plea with her son, but Brett Favre and former governor Phil Bryant have yet to be charged. And so Shannon Sharpe, if you all know who he is, he actually came out and slammed Brett Favre. And this is what he's saying in this story, and he's calling him a sleazeball. And as I was telling you all, they need to be charged, Brett and the former governor, because you're stealing money from the underserved. You're stealing money from needy families from the TANF welfare program. So he goes on to say that he must be the lowest of low to steal from the underserved. Okay, so Shannon Sharpe slammed sleazeball Fred Favre amid the 1.1 million welfare fund scandal, and insists a black player in his position would not, in capital letters, NOT, not have been inducted to the NFL Hall of Fame. You have to be a sorry mofo to steal from the underserved. Now, I agree with Shannon. I've been talking about this, and now this story is out here. And so NFL Hall of Famer, Shannon Sharpe, slammed Green Bay Packers legend Brett Favre Wednesday. Yeah, his legend now is going to be stealing $1.1 million. And he actually asked for $5 million, and he got it later on. So it's not just the $1.1 million that he's allegedly paid back, because Brett still owes $228,000 in interest. So let's get into showing you who Brett Favre is. As y'all all know who he is if you watch football. But look, this is who he is. This is Brett. And he must be the donkey of the day, because he's the one that's been accused of stealing allegedly 1.1 million, but he also got 5 million. So we're talking about some money that coming from taxpayers' money to support that carries the state of Mississippi, because they are one of the poor states in the country. And this man decided to take that money and build this complex with, under the skies, among other players, co-conspirators, instead of using his own money. Now, you all know that Brett played over 2 decades in the NFL as a quarterback, and he made over $140 million during his stay in the tenure in the NFL, plus endorsements. And you are stealing from underserved, less than privileged families in the state of Mississippi. And I'm not going to leave this alone. I told y'all, as many reports that I get, I'm going to do updates, because this is a shame. And we are talking some truth here, because when you really think about some facts on what they do, if it had been a black or brown, let's tell the truth, they wouldn't have allowed it, or it would have took them forever to put them in the Hall of Fame. And you see what happened to OJ. Now, I know a lot of people don't like OJ, and they think he got away with, unaliving some folks. We're not getting into this, because this is not about OJ. But, look at how they stripped OJ. And OJ wasn't even, he got off. Not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. OJ got off. But however, we know that Brett hasn't been, formally charged, but he should. But he hasn't been, but he should. And so he is in the Hall of Fame in the Hall of Fame. And this is hanging over his head. So let's finish up with this. What he's saying is, he said that he's calling him a sleazeball for his alleged involvement in a Mississippi state welfare scandal. Now I wonder exactly how long that Shannon Sharpe has known about this, because this has been going on for a while, but I guess you have to wait for some text messages, some proof, some facts. That's what we should do, right? So that, because remember, people are innocent until proven guilty, right? But we see today that a lot of folks, including our kind, they don't wait for that. But guess what? The text messages have come out to show that this man, Brett, and the former Phil Bryant, former Governor Phil Bryant, have been involved. Yes, they have, and I said it from the beginning, and I'm not going to take it back. Allegedly, they have been involved in stealing money from the undeserved. I mean, the underserved, the underserved, they have been involved in stealing money. They took it from these needy families that really could use that money. Really could use that money. And this is a matter of greed. This is a matter of privilege, that they think they can get away with this white privilege, and they haven't been charged. And I'm sick and tired of it. There should not be anything to do with race here. It should be all about what's right and wrong and charging everybody. If you're going to charge people, charge them all. Charge them for the part that they played in it. And this is what we're talking about to this day. We just finished up with a case where they're not charging everybody, and one person is sitting there behind bars. See, we have got to speak out about these injustices that continue to go on. And I am speaking out, and the governors, the prosecutors, the Me Too movement, judicial system, all of this, you all need to be put on notice, because this man, yes, needs to be charged. It should never be, the scale should not be tilted so much that we can't get justice. So getting back to Favre, was reportedly questioned by the FBI earlier this month for allegedly being paid $1.1 million from a Mississippi welfare fund for motivational speeches he never made. Get this, he never made those motivational speeches, as I've explained that to you all. And text messages, text release Monday, once again, linked Favre to the misuse of the state's welfare funds for a volleyball stadium at the University of Southern Mississippi, his alma mater, where his daughter attended and played volleyball. See, let's keep it real. This is consistent, people. I'm just giving you updates, but this is some consistent stuff that I've been reporting. So the messages published by Mississippi Today show how Favre allegedly attempted, see, I told you, to funnel $5 million into the new complex built at his alma mater. And actually, he did do that. I told you all about that yesterday, them additional payments of $2.5 million within a year of each other, right? Okay, so where his daughter was playing volleyball in 2018, in collaboration with former Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant and nonprofit founder Nancy New. And Nancy New took the fall. She took a plea, and in order to stay out of state prison, her and her son has to continually cooperate with the government. We see how folks be getting immunity. You see that? They take plea deals, but we don't know if Brett Favre, and we don't know if Phil Bryant gonna get immunity if they get charged, because they haven't been charged yet, but they need to be. But we see how folks take plea deals to stay out of prison, and now Nancy, she cooperating with the governor. So she bringing some stuff. She cooperating with the feds, and she's gonna bring some stuff. She said she was no longer, she was tired of turning the other cheek and could not turn the other cheek any longer. So this is why this information is coming out, because folks is doing some investigations on her two nonprofits that she had, and she doesn't want to go to state prison. And I don't blame her, because at the end of the day, you had a higher politician, representative, highest in the state of Mississippi, the former governor, directing those payments, allegedly. But I'm saying it because that's what they said, but I'm going to just say allegedly, okay? To just keep things on the up and up. Now, on Wednesday, Sharpe didn't hold back in his criticism of Favre, and he suggests there were double standards in how the former Packer has been treated. Double standards. You know that DOUBLE, double standards, DS, double standards, with exclamation mark behind it, okay? Yes, buddy. So I talked to people, he said, that was in the room when Brett Favre went to the Hall of Fame, and nobody mentioned about text messages that he sent to Jen Sturger. Sharpe said on FS1's Undisputed. Nobody mentioned anything about the addiction that he suffered, but yet Terrell Owens, they brought up everything. Now, I'm not gonna mock anybody that develops an addiction from painkillers. I'm not gonna do that because we shouldn't do that because things happen and people get addicted and they need to get the help that they need. So I'm not mocking that. But what he's saying is, and Shannon is not mocking it either, because we have common sense, right? And we have to understand. He's not mocking it, but he's bringing up the things that this man had up on him, the monkey or the donkey on his back that he had up on him, and he still was able to just slide on through to get into that NFL Hall of Fame. Now, I think that his stuff should be pulled. I think there should be some investigations continually going on, and I think the Hall of Fame needs to be looking into that. And because let me tell you something, you should not be in the Hall of Fame with what's going on, brother. Your stuff needs to be taken down. It needs to be something, because see, this is not right. This is not right. And I'm saying it now. And then he goes on to say, when black and brown defraud the government, they hell bent. They hell bent on sending you straight to HEL hockey sticks. HELL hockey sticks. I think I said HEL, but no, HELL hockey sticks. They are bent on sending you there when you're black and brown defraud the government. See, if you get an EBT card, they'll move heaven and earth to try and put you in jail for 400 little measly dollars when you get an EBT card. He brought it up. People, I'm only talking about and reading what Shannon Sharpe is saying. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't kill the messenger. And if you're a fan of Brett Favre, I hate to tell you, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Because, see, I'm not a fan of folks. What I do is, look, I'll respect you because God loves you. We're supposed to love everybody and all that stuff. But I do not idolize folks for the very reason. Because, see, the thing is, nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes and fall down. And we be putting folks all up on pedals. And then stuff come out about them. So, Brett, look at you. I might have watched you on TV play the football games and, as a quarterback, and you was a star quarterback and all that stuff, Brett. But at the end of the day, Brett, you are not without blemish and mistakes. With that being said, Brett, you need to be held accountable for stealing money. Because, see, folks that go into the Hall of Fame need to have a stellar reputation and background. You don't have that, Brett, because you knew darn well where that money was coming from. Now, you lied to the public and you told folks over and over that you didn't know, but the text messages say you did know. The text messages show that you knew and you was trying to help cover up where the money was coming from. You mentioned DHS and how can we disguise it, and is there a way they can find out? Don't tell me you didn't know, because if you didn't know, you wouldn't need to have those type of conversations, Brett. I want to hear from you, Brett, besides you saying you didn't know, Brett, because you knew. You knew, Brett. K-N-E-W, you knew. And now you want to sit up here and say, I never knew where the money was coming from, but I paid the $1.1 million. But what about the $228,000 in interest? Because if it was the IRS, the federal, tax people, they would be coming after folks for that interest. They charge you interest when you set up a payment plan. That's why when I've had to pay, if I had the money, I just like to pay them out, because I don't want them getting no more money than I already say they say they owe me. So if I have the money, I just like to pay them. Let's get it over with, because my interest needs to go to me. My interest needs to stay within my pocketbook. Okay, so Brett, they want their monies. They want the bag, Brent, and you need to come up off that interest that you owe the state of Mississippi, the welfare department, because remember, Brent, if you didn't know this, Brent, because you know, Brent, you was playing football, so maybe you didn't know this, but that money came from federal taxpayers' money, Brent, and we want our money back. Yeah, I said it like that. We want our money back, Brent. Or maybe I should say it like this. Mr. Favre, we'd like you to pay us the money back to the Department of Mississippi Department of Human Services for welfare. We'd like you to pay the money back, Brett. And we have sent you a demand letter to pay that money back. And we're going to sit back and we're going to wait till you pay it. And when you don't pay it, the government can seize everything, Brett. Do you understand, Mr. Favre? We're speaking to your attorneys. However, do you understand? See, that's, you know, some folks understand it one way and some folks understand it another way. But anyway, we're going to get back to this thing. I want to read this again. Now, when Black and Brown defraud the government, they hell bent, the H-E-double-L bent. You get an EBT card. Everybody know what an EBT card is. Eat Better Today. That's what EBT stands for in the hood world. Eat Better Today. You know what? And this is not to be funny because, folks, look, if you got one, I salute you. If you got one, if you can qualify, so no, I'm not, you know, mocking folks for it, but it's Eat Better Today, because folks that need it, they need to be able to eat better today, okay? So that's the EBT card. Now, it stands for something else, the electronic whatever, but I was just saying that because I remember this person used to always be like, what's to put a disguise on it, a disguise, you know, Eat Better Today, EBT, okay? So and they got it under, they said EBT, but you know what, it could be, what's those other words they got out there? The link card, and it's another word. But anyway, they'll move heaven and earth trying and put you in jail for $400 little measly dollars. Now, this man, Favre, done took $1 million. Now, this man, Favre, he says done took $1 million. Done took. And there's a video too. There is a video. So this article, if you click on it, click on the article, you'll get to, you know, watch the video on Twitter. And he says you have to be a sorry mofo to steal from the underserved, okay? And Sharpe was referring to Favre allegedly sending explicit photos to former Jets host and in-house sideline reporter Jen Sturger over a decade ago when he was with the team. You remember that, you all? Do you remember those things that he did? Because I do remember he got caught up in some nonsense, you know, with that, reporter, Jen Sturger. I remember that. Now, the ex-quarterback has also spoken openly about his past addictions to painkillers. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2016, while Owens, who has reportedly had drug issues as well, was not inducted into the Hall of Fame until his third year on the ballot. It's just like voting. You be if something's put on the ballot and you have to vote on the ballot, right? They did not induct Terrell Owens until his third year on the ballot. Third year. They scrutinized Terrell Owens. And hey, I'm not going to get in an argument back and forth with what somebody thinks about Terrell Owens. I'm not here for that. I'm just here to report the story, okay? I'm not going to go back and forth about what is what and what is not. But what I can say, according to Shannon Sharpe, is that he was on the ballot for 3 years. Third year on the ballot. That's 3 years. 1, 2, 3. You know, 2 comes after 1 and 3 comes after 2. 1, 2, 3. And 1 plus 2 equals 3. So, you know what I'm saying? And it says, he goes on to say, can you imagine if T.O., Terrell Owens, would have had incidents like Brett Favre off the field now? Sharpe asked about the former 49ers, Cowboys, and Eagles star. Can you imagine that? See, Terrell Owens, still to this day, right now, would not be in the Hall of Fame. I believe that's true. Yet, they walked past it like Brett Favre did nothing. This is what we're talking about, folks. See, the text message released this week show Favre corresponding with New. You know Nancy New, the one that had the nonprofits, the 2 nonprofits that took a plea, and in order for her to stay out of state prison, she has to continue to cooperate with the feds, the prosecutors. That's in her plea deal. Now, she ran a nonprofit, as I explained to you all, in charge of spending tens of millions of flexible federal welfare dollars outside of public view. If you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much? Favre seemed to have written in August 2017. See, let's stop right there. This is why I said, if he didn't know where the money was coming from, why would you need to cover it up? See, the truth don't need no help. I'm telling you all, the truth don't need no help. That's why would you grant immunity to some folks that you got testifying for them? You know, we still want some answers from that. The Me Too movement, judicial system, and the prosecutor. We want some answers to that. Why would you grant immunity to some folks if they telling the truth? Why? See, the truth don't need no help, because when you speak the truth, your story will not change. But when you lie, it's going to change from the grand jury when you testify to when you get on the stand under oath. Some folks purge themselves, their testimony should be impeached and thrown out, but they also need to be charged. We know what we're talking about. You all know who's been following, you know, right? So let's get back into this article. A day later, news says she had spoken to Bryant, who was on board with their plans, and Bryant acknowledged to New in 2019 that he had spoken with Favre about the plan. The problem that I have with this situation, you got to be, and this is what Shannon goes on to say, the problem that I have with this situation, you got to be a sorry mofo to steal from the lords, Sharpe said of the scheme. Mississippi is the poorest state in our country. Brett Favre is taking from the underserved. I told you all. He's been a sleazeball. He's been shady for a very, very long time. Shady. Sleazeball. Favre is said to have been paid the cash in 2017 and 2018. But it wasn't just the 1.1 million. It was the 2.5 million. And if you've been following these stories I'm giving in the updates, and as part of a wider, let me tell you, wider now, not 70 million, along with a professional wrestler, capital B-I-A-S-E. I may not be pronouncing it correctly, you all. And a horse farm, which was another star football player from the University of Mississippi. Okay. Okay, here. So, I'm telling you, when I got this story, I had to come out and speak on this. Okay. And, because this is a situation where, I may, that I'm reporting, and I'm sharing this information because we have to look at this situation. This is wrong on every level. And he goes on to say that Favre is not accused of a crime, and we know that he's not yet. And said last year he had paid the 1.1 million. He did say that, didn't he? That he paid it back. He said that he has not been accused of a crime, but he's in the Hall of Fame. He stole the money from the underserved. He took money from the TANF, the TANF, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, Welfare Fund Program. That's part of the Welfare Department, the part of the Mississippi Department of Human Services. But a Mississippi state auditor is reportedly demanding $228,000 in interest. I told you all, they are demanding their money. Brett, I told you, they want their monies. They want the interest, Brett. Because if you owe the IRS, they want interest. If you don't pay on time, they're going to charge you interest. If you set up a payment plan, you're going to pay interest. So, Brett, have you considered a payment plan with the Mississippi Department of Human Services? They want their money, Brett, and we want the money back also, Brett, because it's federal tax money that you and former Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant, in cahoots with Nancy New, stole. And there were some other key players, co-conspirators that have been charged, that have been put on demand to pay some money back, some restitution. But Brett, we want the money back. And we're not going to stop talking, Brett, because we're getting tired of our tax money being misused and abused, Brett. Now, we watched you play football over 2 decades in the NFL, Brett. We watched you. We watched you, Brett. You made money off of endorsements. I don't know which companies they were. I need to look it up so I can come back and talk about them companies that paid you money, Brett. Endorsements, Brett. 140 million over 2 decades, Brett, that you made. And you stealing money from the underserved, Brett. From needy families that needed the money, that needed resources, Brett, so that they can level up, so they can stop struggling but start thriving, striving, and thriving. Because the resources would have helped them strive for a better life, Brett. And once they got the resources to help them level up, then they can be thriving. You're not the only one that deserves to be living a life of luxury, especially when you stealing money from folks that needed it. Especially when you stealing money from taxpayers that support and carry the state of Mississippi, Brett, the poorest state in the country, Brett. Yes, Brett, I'm talking about it. And I don't have nothing personal against you, Brett. But I have something personal against somebody that will steal money from children, from needy families, from taxpayers. Yeah, I have a problem with that, Brett. You and the former Governor Phil Bryant, yeah, you need to be exposed. And I'm glad Shannon Sharpe came out and exposed you. You don't need to have nothing in the Hall of Fame because you are not a representative of any young people that's coming after you. You need to have a stellar background, from what I understand, to be in the Hall of Fame. And correct me, people, if I'm wrong, but you need to have a stellar background, and you do not. And I understand, we fall down, but we get up. But you got up with the wrong monies. You got up with the wrong funds to build that volleyball complex or a sports complex over there that was supposed to be used to help families. You were supposed to give motivational speakers, Brett. And you didn't. You backed out. But you took the money and ran with it, Brett. You tried to throw the rock and wait, let me say it like this, Brett. You opened up your hand for the rock. But in the process of trying to get the rock, you know what I'm talking about? The gold, the money. You opened up your hand for the money, Brett. And then you tried to disguise it after you got it. You tried to hide it, Brett. You wanted it disguised before you received it. Let me stand corrected. No, you wanted to hide it before you received it. Can we figure out a way where they won't know where it's coming from? Brett, but then you told the public. See, this is where, this is where I have a problem, Brett, because you told the public that you didn't know. But Brett, you knew all along. You knew before these text messages. You knew, because I remember saying, when it first came out, I said, no, he knew. You are not just taking money and not knowing where it's coming from. I cannot believe that you didn't know just from the very beginning when you first came out, Brett, and said that you didn't know. No, because let me tell you something. Most people want to know where money is coming from. Is it drug money? Is it money of worker prostitution monies? Is it extortion money? Is it bribery money? Folks want to know, because if you are an honest person, let me say this, if you're an honest person and you on the up and up and you want to do things right, correctly, you will want to know where that money is coming from. You will want to know, Brett, and anybody else out there will want to know. Because if somebody coming and offering me a whole bunch of money, I want to know where it's coming from. Because even the banks now will not allow you to put cash money a lot of times in accounts because they want to track where the money's coming from. They want to track where the money's coming from. Even banks do it now. Because they want to make sure they're not part of mail fraud and all that kind of stuff. So don't tell me, Brett, that you didn't know. Because when it first came out that you had gotten money from the Mississippi Welfare Fund and said you didn't know, I wasn't believing it then, and I don't believe it now. And now that the text messages are confirming that you was part of the plan, Brett, to receive the inappropriate flexible spending funds that should have been given to children as aligned the way they were supposed to go. Because see, when you start messing with welfare money, you get yourself caught up. When you start messing with money like that, you putting yourself at risk. And Brett, you mean to tell me with a college education, your alma mater, and you saying you didn't know, but yet and still, you knew how to throw those football passes. You knew how to play ball. And it takes some type of knowledge, Brett. It takes something. And it takes something, Brett. It takes some knowledge up here, because when your coaches, Brett, got you in practice and working on these plays with your Brett, and over here and over there, and you got your defense team, Brett, it takes some type of knowledge. Takes some skills, Brett. But it still takes some type of brain, Brett. And you can't tell me this is basic information, Brett. Now, are you saying that you didn't have basic information, basic common sense? Because anybody, like I said, is on the up and up. They would have been questioning, where this money coming from? You mean to tell me you all are getting ready to help me, but I need to know where this money coming from. Is it on the up and up? Are we sure that I'm entitled to get this money? But Brett, you was trying to disguise where the money was coming from. You was part of the problem, Brett. And Brett, you need to be held accountable right along with former Governor Phil Bryant. Both of y'all, he hasn't been charged either yet. But both of y'all need to be held accountable. And I'm going to say it like this. Right along with Nancy New. Let's say that. Because Nancy New is being held accountable. But you, Brett, and Governor Phil Bryant, former Governor Phil Bryant, former Governor Phil Bryant, need to be held accountable right along with the rest of them. See, because you can't just you just can't hold one person accountable and not all. This is not right. And we see this happening in our judicial system over and over and over. Why should one person go down? When the proof is in the pudding, when the facts are out there, when it's been determined. Brett, you and former Governor, Phil Bryant got some answering to do about this money. And because this is federal tax dollars, federal. Everybody that pay into their taxes, everybody that worked or paid, or pensions getting taxed, or Social Security getting taxed. You working, you're getting taxed, you're paying federal, you got to file your federal taxes. We want that money back, Brett. We want the money back. Hey, you all, if you think that you want your federal taxpayers money back from Brett, put your comments below. If you believe Brett and former Governor Phil Bryant also needs to be charged, put your comments below. If you believe that his Hall of Fame needs to be pulled, give me your thoughts on that. Give me your thoughts on it, because some people might say, well, he hasn't been charged. but it does, but he hasn't. But guess what? You scrutinize one, you need to scrutinize all when it comes to the Hall of Fame. So leave your respectful comments below. I hope that you have enjoyed the video, uh, and please like the video. Please share this video. Please share it and subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. And, the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. And now, and there's also a little entertainment in here as well, okay? So I appreciate you all. I appreciate all my new subscribers. I do want to tell you all to thank you again for tuning in, but please share the video. It is so important to get this information out here, to share the video, because we all should be concerned about where our federal tax money is being where it goes, how it's being used, and if it's being misused, misspent. We need to know, we need to speak up, and we need to vote these folks out of office that are in office allowing nonsense to go on, that are in office not doing us a service, that are in office passing bogus laws to keep putting people behind bars and not charging folks that need to be charged. Please, we have got to vote, and we have got to stand up for what is right. And you know what? Some people work all their lives, and if they owe a little bitty money to the federal government, they can lose everything if it's an oversight or mishap. So we have got to hold people accountable for their participation in embezzlement, stealing, scamming, whatever you want to call it, when it comes down to our federal tax money. Because a lot of our money goes out to other countries, and here we are with families right here in America struggling. They're struggling. They are struggling to strive. They're struggling to thrive. And we are helping. We give money to help other states. And this is what it boils down to. Folks like Brett and former Governor Phil Bryant. And you had John Davis involved. You had Nancy New involved. You had a former pro wrestler, their nephew, their son involved that didn't even teach children how to code. And then there was Deputy Black. You had all these people involved in some kind of way. And then Nancy New, two sons, stealing money from needy families. And with that being said, God bless you all on today. Peace out.